Hey guys, this is Max Headspace 9mm, and this might be the last video I ever do, at least the last video on YouTube. And it's not necessarily because I think the world's going to come to an end or America's going to come to an end or any of that kind of stuff. There's plenty of videos on YouTube that are saying things like that. And if you hang on for a second, I'll share not only the reason why I am probably done with YouTube, but also what I really think about current events. But see, when I started out with YouTube about 6 years ago, it was kind of the golden age. YouTube was an amazing platform of free speech and expression. Everybody was welcome. There was really no segregation. And since then, channels like mine and other kinds of channels that are about guns and conservative values and different things like that have been targeted. I used to think that YouTube was one of the most perfect examples of what made America great. But now a lot of social media is basically clamping down on things they don't like and censoring things. And our First Amendment rights don't mean anything to them. And I understand they're a private company and they're worried about liability and things like that. I can understand that. But it's worse than that. When they have a witch hunt and they basically target things they don't like and treat those people very, very differently than people that have agendas that they're aligned with, it's not right. When they basically are making a fortune off of my videos and I get pennies, I'm not doing it for the money. I've said that before. But the problem is, as much as I love the conversations I get to have with my viewers, as much as I really enjoy helping people, I feel like I'm in bed with the devil. Because they're making money off of something that they say is bad. They're making money off of my hard work and calling me a deplorable in the process. I am tired of being called a deplorable. I'm tired of being called inexcusable. I'm tired of being called a racist. I'm tired of being called all the things that people on the left are calling conservative people or people in the gun community. I'm just tired of it. It's lies and it's wrong. Now, on to what I think about current events. This is the night before the big day of inauguration, and we are all watching all these videos on YouTube about buildup of the military in Washington, D.C. I've been to Washington, D.C. multiple times. I know that city like the back of my hand. I see all those places where I used to walk and go and look at the monuments and just enjoy the beauty of that city. And there's an occupation now with a border fence and checkpoints. I remember the days of Reagan when he basically ushered in the tearing down of the wall that separated East and West Germany. That was a big deal. And America caused that to happen. And now we're building our own walls. So there's a lot of stories. You can go on YouTube and you can hear any kind of story you want to hear, from China's invading us and Biden's going to let it happen, to Trump's basically just setting a snare. As soon as Biden is taking the oath of office, he's got enough evidence, and basically the Supreme Court is going to clamp down and lock up everybody on the left that plotted to take down Trump and his government, and all kinds of other stories. Now, I have been spending hours every single day trying to calm people down. People in my life, people that know me. A lot of you don't know that I'm a pastor. I never really said anything about that in my videos because I'm trying to keep a separate focus on firearms and basically preparation. And I didn't like the fact that some people would view my being a pastor wrong or in a different light as a result of the gun videos that I've done. Some of the gun videos are strictly humorous, tongue-in-cheek, and it's a way of lightening the mood. A very heavy mood, a mood that's very serious sometimes, all too serious. But I think you guys got to know, the reason why I'm calm right now, no matter what's going to happen tomorrow, is because I have a foundation under me that's unshakable. And I know that. I am not afraid to die. Whatever comes my way, I'm not afraid to die. And you know what? There's a saying, and I don't know if anybody's ever said this besides me before. If you recognize this saying and where it comes from, please tell me in the comments section because I'd like to know. But this saying comforts me a lot, and that is, there is no man more dangerous than he with nothing to lose. Now, I don't know if I just heard that somewhere, but I've always told it to myself. And what it means is that when everything is taken away and you've got nothing left to lose, then your choices are pretty obvious. Now, we know that all these stories that are floating around can't all be true. They cannot all be true. Our logical mind tells us it's impossible. And nobody has a monopoly on the truth. I don't have a monopoly on the truth, and I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know what's going to happen. But I do know people are freaked out. And I think the reason they're freaked out is because we have been on lockdown and we've been masked and we've been social distanced and deprived of so many of the things in our lives that make us healthy and happy. We've lost loved ones. I have. It's been a really difficult time. We've seen our cities burning. We've seen our politicians divided, calling what's bad good and what's good bad. What we know for a fact, every one of us, whether we say it or not, we sense it inside. We know that there are so many lies floating around that nobody knows what's true anymore. Nobody knows what's happening, and nobody knows what to do. It's times like that when you need a foundation under your life. You need to know what you are built on. Jesus gave us an example of what that looks like. He said, the wise man builds his house on a rock. And when the rains come and the storms beat against that house, it will stand because it's built on the rock. The foolish man builds his house on the sand, and when the storms come, it washes it away and it collapses, and great is its collapse. The question you have to ask yourself is not which story are you going to choose to believe? Because we don't know. Don't waste your time trying to speculate out of which of these scenarios could possibly happen. It's a waste of time. Nobody knows. Prepare your mind and your spirit for what's to come, whatever it is. Get the right foundation under your life. Because I'll tell you something. This country was not built on patriots whose goals were to just protect their freedoms, protect their way of life, protect their right to choose. This country was not founded on that. And if that's what you're fighting for, you'll probably run and hide when it gets scary. This country was founded on the idea that the people who fought that Revolutionary War wanted to answer to God alone. They wanted to be free to worship as they pleased without the king dictating how, when, where, and who they worship. That was the foundation for patriots that forged this country in the first place. And that's the foundation we need to have if we're going to Protect this country now, whatever that means. The Revolutionary War was fought by a tiny percentage of the people who lived in this country at the time. I've heard it said it was about 14%. It doesn't take a huge army to win a war. It just takes an army that is extremely determined and knows that their cause is right and are willing to do whatever it takes to win, no matter what they face. That is the kind of resolve that's going to get you through this. So if you're scared right now, I know what that feels like. There was a time when I used to be scared. There was a time when I put my faith in a lot of things. There was a time when I put my faith mostly in guns and preparation, having plenty of guns and ammo. And I'm still glad for those preparations. Those are good things. But that's not really what calms my nerves right now and makes me know that it's going to be okay. It's the knowledge that whatever I face, I know what my eternal destiny is going to be. And I know that I'm in God's hands. I think it's a good thing to prepare, but a lot of you that haven't been preparing all along, it's too late. It's too late for some kinds of preparation. If you just bought your first gun in the last month or two, you're probably not prepared to use it. A lot of people don't even know if they're capable of killing another human being. I mean, we tell ourselves we'll stand up if they come and round up our guns. Well, we don't even know. You don't know. Unless you've been on a battlefield, you really don't know. We don't know ourselves very well at all. But I'll tell you something, God does know us, and He holds our destiny in His hands. And this is the time when we need to know what we stand for, and we need to know what our foundation is made of. Is your foundation made of rock, or is it sand? Which did you choose? Because I'll tell you something. We can look and find this story repeating itself. This is the same trajectory that the nation of Israel followed. The nation of Israel was God's people. And the nation of Israel turned its back on God and worshiped idols and did things that were abhorrent to God. And God turned His back on the nation of Israel, and He allowed them to be conquered repeatedly. This nation, by and large, at least the loudest voices, our media, our entertainment industry, and yes, many of our career politicians, the ones who've been in office the longest, have stood for the things that God is displeased by. And there's a price to pay for that. And I hate to say it, but what I've seen in my lifetime is our nation building a foundation of sand. That's what we've been working for, and we're about to reap the rewards. And I don't know what that's going to look like. Could be something devastating and immediate. Could be that some of those rumors are true and it's time for war with invading armies on our own soil, something we haven't seen in a long time in this country. Or it could just be a peaceful inauguration, uneventful, and then just 4 years of Biden pushing, just like Obama did. I don't know, and neither do you, let's be honest. But what I do know for a certainty is we better know what we stand for, And we better know what we're standing on. I don't want to stand alone. I hope you'll stand with me. I hope you'll stand on the solid rock of Jesus Christ, because that's the foundation this nation was built on, and don't let anybody tell you any differently. This is Max Headspace 9mm. Have a good one.